talk the talk and walk the walk. It's Wednesday, pre-Thanksgiving, Turkey Day Eve. Thanksgiving slate is here. We're going to get started with Ralph. He's going to break down St. Mary's and Wichita State in college basketball. And then we're going to break down Packers and Lions, one of the three big games on Thanksgiving. We're going to talk about Ross Benjamin covering the Rockets and the Warriors. And he's going to tackle Ohio State, Michigan. Got to talk about this one. And then my favorite, this line makes no sense. Drew Martin is going to dive into Ole Miss versus Mississippi State and then Alabama versus Auburn. We're going to do a contest that is available. We're going to have to pick all 6 of the spreads and the over-unders for the Thanksgiving Day games. It's a contest where if you hit all 6, you win. So we're going to do picks on that one. Of course, we're going to give you some free plays, and we got a parlay of the day brought to you by the Parlay Club. So it's a huge, huge day, and I will be doing a Steam report. We'll save it for after Ralph and Ross. We have so many games that I will do a little bit, little Steam report. It's not going to be that little, actually. It can be big. All right, if you're traveling, be safe. Thank you for joining us in the live chat. Ralph, man, loaded few days. We're off tomorrow, so we got to bring the heat here. Ralph and the Pen have joined us. We're going to break down Packers and Lions. But first off, happy Thanksgiving. And we're going to talk St. Mary's and Wichita State to get us started. So let's do that. Let's talk to St. Mary's, Wichita State. Tell us, what do we know about these teams? St. Mary's is a pretty big favorite here, minus 10.5 with an over-under of 139. Feels like a low total when you have a big spread like this. What's your breakdown on these teams?
Yeah, when we talk St. Mary's, we know we're talking one of the slowest paced teams in all of college basketball. So it is shocking that a St. Mary's total is this high. The reason it's this high, Andy, is you look at their offense this year. They are number 1 in three-point percentage in the country. They are number 24 in effective field goal positions, and they have scored at least 80 points in every game. No, St. Mary's and Randy Bennett have not changed to play up-tempo college basketball. They have just been so efficient against very weak defenses. This early in the season, it's very important to look at strength of schedule. Yes, St. Mary's average win is by 20-some points per game, but when you look at the defenses collectively, they've played the number 294th weakest set of schedules. There's 365 teams in college basketball, so one of the 70 lowest. They still are as slow as we're accustomed to, number 349 on tempo. And Randy Bennett is just amazing, getting these Australian kids that know how to play college basketball. It's so popular down there, and he's got a pipeline to it, and he just keeps rebooting the talent. By the way, St. Mary's this year, a perfect 6-0. They're 4-1 against the spread, and they're 3-1 over-under. We look at Wichita State. Wichita State are the teams that I like looking at now. Why? Well, Paul Mills has been here 3 years. His first season here as a head coach, 15 wins. His second season, 19 wins. He now has his systems ingrained. The coaches know how to coach the kids. The players that have been in the programs multiple years are now comfortable with his system. By the way, they're off to a 4-1 start, and they have covered all 5 games this year. The only loss they had at Boise State, they dropped that game by only 3 points. Now, Wichita State has played excellent defense this year. Their effective field goal percentage, number 20. They've played a weak schedule, the strength of schedule, number 330, and the only top 150 defense they faced was Boise State, where they scored 59 points. They're playing in the Bahamas. This is the Atlantis tournament. And one thing I'll tell you about this, the first games of the tournament, it's such a unique setting down there. They basically play in a ballroom with some bleachers up there. So you really can see teams struggle early with the unique settings. Another thing to remember, and part of the reason I'm not going to back St. Mary's here, is these teams tip off at 7:30 tonight. The winner plays at 2:30 tomorrow afternoon. That's a short turnaround. So we're going to see players, we're going to see the bench extended. If a team does get a lead, I expect them to bring in their subs to give those subs more minute and be fresh for tomorrow as you advance. So add all those things up. 2 slow tempos, 2 incredible defenses, the St. Mary offense that I think is overrated because of their strength of schedule. I'm going to go first half, Andy. As I said, the ballroom setting, Both teams do like to shoot threes. The ballroom setting is quite unique. The first half total, a very fair 65. Under first half 65 for me for the Gales and Shockers at 7:30 p.m. Eastern this evening.
I am not going to the Bahamas for, for Thanksgiving to play in a basketball tournament, sadly. So, you, Ralph, you going to make it to the Bahamas for Thanksgiving?
No, you know
Shoot
what?
some hoops?
I'll tell you what, as exciting as the Vegas tournament is, next year we're going to see an entirely, to see these teams play like they have this week, it's just incredible. And for those that aren't familiar, let's see, those Hawaii tournaments, Bahama tournaments are going to be going by the wayside. Vegas this year is paying every team $1 million just to show up, and then more prizes if you win. So one of the coach says, well, what am I going to do? Pay our own way to fly to Hawaii for the Maui tournament, or get $1 million to fly to Vegas?
Wow. The evolution of sports really is truly something. If you would have said this 10 years ago, you'd be like, no way this is going to happen. Never forget, Tony Romo got suspended for hosting a fantasy football convention. That actually happened in our lifetime. So how times have changed. So, well, let's move to NFL. Big game here. Packers, Lions. This is at Detroit. Interested in your take on this game. Detroit, obviously much better at home than they are on the road. Packers, do we know what we get from the Packers week to week? Detroit minus 2.5 over under 49. What do you think of this game?
Well, you look at Detroit's losses at Philly by a touchdown, at Kansas City by 13, and at Green Bay by 14. The surprising thing is, Andy, even though they have one loss at home against Minnesota and 3 losses on the road, at home they're plus 70 yards per game. On the road, they're plus 63 yards per game, only a 7-yard per game difference. Green Bay is the opposite, though. They have a strong home road dichotomy. They're plus 92 yards per game at home, and on the road, they're only plus 23 yards per game. If you're a Packers backer, what really sticks out to me is their offense the last 3 weeks. They host Philly, they score 7 points, have 261 yards, 3.9 yards per carry rushing. They go to the Giants. In that game, they only have 296 yards. The reason they beat the Giants, plus 3 turnovers. And then against Minnesota, yes, they won by 17, but they only had 288 yards. Now, Detroit's defense had played well before the New York Giants fiasco. The Giants had 517 yards. I think they're only the 15th team since 2005 to have 500 yards and lose a game. But prior to that, Detroit had not allowed over 340 yards in any game this season. I had to look up the Detroit on Thanksgiving, and remember, they were horrible last decade. They won a couple games in a row, but did you know in the last 2, 4, 6, 8 Thanksgiving Day games at home, they've only won 1 game, and that was last year against the Bears, and they were a 9.5-point favorite and only won by 3. They're 2-5 against the spread the last 7, and again, 6 straight up losses prior to winning last year in a game they don't cover. Now, we talk about, I get in a lot of discussions around Christmas and the holidays. I do think the road team has an edge on the holidays. Think about the Detroit Lions. They're home with their families. Friends are coming in to visit. They're planning Thanksgiving. Yes, they're going to go to a hotel tonight and get ready for tomorrow's game, but you have so many more distractions at home. The Packers heading to Detroit. At the hotel, they're going through their same routines of meals, their walkthroughs. They wake up tomorrow, they're going to play ball and get ready to go. I actually like Green Bay in the first half here. They've gotten out to some decent starts. I think their defense can slow Detroit. You look at Detroit's first half performances the last few weeks, 6 points at halftime against Philly, 14 points against Minnesota at halftime, Tampa Bay 14 points, Kansas City 10 points, and Cincinnati only 14 points. Big second half performances, slow first half starts. Lean Detroit for the game, even though the Thanksgiving stuff scares me. I do like Green Bay first half for the show.
All right, Ralph Michaels. All right, Ralph, favorite Thanksgiving food?
Oh, I'm a traditionalist. I am just turkey. I am boring old turkey. I don't like cranberry. I am not a cranberry fan. That cannot touch my turkey. My mom knew that since I was young. So, it's just a great day to spend time with family and friends. And again, I do want to wish all our viewers a very happy and safe Thanksgiving holiday. You guys are awesome. We appreciate having you, and we provide all the content we do because of you.
Absolutely. You guys are doing the Blitz today, right after this show, correct? We're doing it on a Wednesday.
You guys keep watching. We'll be right on the Blitz. Ross is back this week, and Brian Power, of course, will be hosting. So looking forward to another great card. We break down about 5 main games, Andy, and then we just answer a slew of questions from the audience. So if you're in the live chat, there's a game you want to hear about, make sure you watch, make sure you reach out.
All right. And what do you have up for everyone at Wager Talk on this Wednesday?
Well, again, it's a no-brainer this week. Year after year after year after year, I think this is our 5th or 6th year, our Thanksgiving Day special. It was traditionally $69, but Johnny in Detroit had to lower it to $67 to make it an even better deal. So again, an absolute no-brainer. No one should be buying any single game package all week. Take a capper, take 2 cappers, take 3 cappers, buy them all, $67. That's just not football. That's all sports. And I do want to mention this because we do get this email in often to customer service. If you want me or you, Andy, or Ross, let's say you want us for a couple weeks, you could buy 2 Turkey Day specials for $67 each, and they stack for 2 weeks. If you buy 3, they stack for 3 weeks. So it's a great way to keep that savings going for multiple weeks. I have a college football 5%. Those 5%'s 13 and 3, 81%. My football 5%'s 23 and 7, 77%. And listen to this combined record in college football and NFL on my best bets. 43 and 19, 69%, the last 62 plays.
Good stuff, Ralph. Absolutely great stuff. Take advantage of Ralph Michaels. 7 days, $67. Ralph, can't wait to catch you here on the Blitz. Get us ready for college football. Thank you very much. Safe travels and happy holidays to Ralph Michaels. All right. We mentioned the special 7 days for $67. You guys, we normally do our NFL prop video on Friday nights. We're actually going to record an NFL prop video right after this show. We get you ready for the Thanksgiving and the Friday game. So NFL props for those early games will be up. We do have an NBA special that is up for today. We've got 3 plays. We normally do like 1 or 2 plays a day. We got 1 pack and you get 3 NBA plays, and we're going to attach a bonus NHL to that one, get you ready for Thanksgiving. And then we will have props that are up in football for Thursday and Friday. So NFL prop fans, we will have that video up later, and there's some really, really good spots and some great games. Let's talk to Ross Benjamin. We got to break down some big-time games here. Ross, happy holidays. How are you, man?
Happy Thanksgiving, Andy. Always a pleasure to be with you, my man.
Always, man, always. Let's go to this Rockets-Warriors game. Interesting game here. Sadly, we got a couple people sitting for Rockets, most notably Kevin Durant. So now we got Golden State as minus 2.5-point favorites with the over-under at 223.5. How do you break this game down with no Durant?
Yeah, I mean, Golden State, Jekyll and Hyde in terms of their home and away dichotomies. They've only lost 1 game at home this year, and that came last Friday in a 127-123 defeat against Portland. This is the first meeting of the year between these teams. And remember, last year, Golden State knocked Houston out of the playoffs in a 7-game series. It went the entire 7 games. So big-time revenge there. And Houston started 0-2. They've gone 11-2 since that time. And here's another thing. Teams, when Houston plays teams like Golden State this year, to have a field goal percentage defense of 46% or worse, they've gone 8-0 straight up in ATS in those games. And this is also the first time the Rockets will be an underdog since their season opener. So again, yeah, Kevin Durant comes into play there. The thing with Houston is even without Durant, they have enough quality depth to make up for that in the short term anyway. If it goes beyond, I don't know how long his personal leave is going to be for, but if it goes beyond a week or so, then it's time to get concerned. But I think in the short term, Houston will fare pretty well still. And the big key in this game, Andy, is the rebounds per game differential. Houston plus 11.1 rebounds per game this year. Golden State minus 2.1. I think that will be the deciding difference. I'm going to take the Houston Rockets here, even without Kevin Durant, plus 2.5 at Golden State.
I think I'm with you. I mean, that game they were underdog. They were playing the Thunder.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you're underdogs in Thunder, and then the Warriors definitely, absolutely. RJ says, "Amen, Thompson. Amen, Thompson. Props." Yeah, when Durant's out, that's a lot of shots and a lot of stats available. So, what's up, Drew? Can't wait to see Drew here in a bit. Ross, you got Olivia giving you some love. Olivia says, "Ross, the boss. Happy Thanksgiving, buddy." So,
Same to you, Olivia.
let's go to big game here. Ohio State, Michigan. One of my best friends went to Ohio State. It really is just a rivalry unlike any other. Like, he is on edge all week. It's like you don't play for the team, you don't coach the team, but for whatever reason, it's just different. Every single year this game comes around. So Ohio State minus 10. Haven't had the best luck against Michigan. Over under at 44. Is Ohio State going to turn the tide here and finally get a big win against Michigan? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, that's the talk of the town in this big, huge matchup between two highly ranked teams. Ohio State's lost 4 in a row to Michigan, but I'm going to look at the total here, and I'm going to keep it real simple. Ohio State, they're number one in total defense and number one in scoring defense, 212.6 yards per game allowed. They've allowed 16 points or fewer in all 11 games this year, and an average of giving up just 6.8 points per game. Stop and think about that for a while, folks. A power conference team playing against some pretty good opponents and allowing less than 7 points per game. Michigan, not too shabby either, allowing less than 300 yards per game, 16.1 points per game. In their 3 conference home games this year, they've only allowed 11 points per game and 225 yards per contest. And all 3 of those conference home games went under the total with a combined 34-point score per game, while Ohio State has gone under the total in all 4 conference away games this season with a combined average of just 39.5 points per game. I'm looking at a game, a 20-10 type of game, 23-13, possibly 17-7. I like this game to go under the total of 44.
I'm with you. I'm with you 100%. I would also throw out this Michigan team total under 16.5. This Ohio State team has just been lights out on defense. And it's amazing Ohio State was just like, hey, Matt Patricia, would you like to come and coach our defense? And they just happen to land this insanely good defense coordinator that should be in the NFL. So I'm with you on that under. It's 44. That seems pretty ambitious for these two teams to get over that total with these defenses. So, stand in line to honey baked ham. Bill, day before Thanksgiving, you're getting the ham? Come on, man. Anyway, we'll kill some time for you, Bill. We'll give you some actionable info. This is one of your better. This line makes no sense. I love this one. So say it with me, everyone. This line makes no sense. We're going to college football, and we're talking Texas A&M. Tell us why this line makes no sense.
Well, Texas A&M is only a 2.5-point favorite. I know the game's at Texas, but keep in mind, this is an A&M team that's ranked number 3 in the country, unbeaten at 11-0, and they're facing a Texas team that's vastly underachieved this year and is 8-3. So we got a number 3 team in the country, unbeaten, against a 3-loss team and only a 2.5-point favorite. Additionally, A&M has revenge from losing the last 2 meetings against Texas. Yet they're only a 2.5-point favorite. You know what, Andy? If it looks like a fish and smells like a fish, you know what it is?
The fish.
I was hoping that I could say I'm glad you asked, because you're wrong. If it looks like a fish and smells like a fish, it's fishy. Just like this line.
Sorry, I messed up the bit, Ross. I
It's
messed up the
okay.
bit
It's okay.
completely. You set me up, and I swung and missed. So this line does make no sense. This truly line makes no sense. So like this is like Sprinkle, Texas, right? Is that what we're saying here?
Yeah. Well, again, I'm not indicating you should go either way. I'm just saying before you jump all over A&M and think you have an absolute cinch because you got an unbeaten team as less than a field goal favorite against a 3-loss team, the books just aren't that generous. And, when it comes to sports betting, I've said this time and time again, and again, I'm going to have to be redundant. More times than not, if it looks too good to be true in sports betting, it is.
I couldn't agree more. I think this is a really, really good segment. This is almost like some of the bets that we all should just be looking at. Like this line makes no sense. The books probably know a little bit more than we do. So Ross, the Boss Benjamin, day before Thanksgiving. All right, Ross, what's your favorite Thanksgiving dish?
I like the dark meat and turkey, and I like the stuffing. I don't like cranberry, and I could do without the squash. So, there you go.
All right. I love it.
If I had my choice, though, being of Italian heritage, I would take lasagna over turkey any day on Thanksgiving.
I was just going to say lasagna, the unheralded Thanksgiving food. I've had lasagna on Thanksgiving, and there's something free about it. It's delicious. I'm with you. Lasagna for the win. That's Ross's favorite Thanksgiving food, lasagna. All right, Ross, what do you have up for everyone? We have a ton of specials going on. What do you have up for everyone for Wednesday,
you're going to go
Thursday?
over the specials and beat them to death throughout the show, so I'm not going to bore the people and other than the Weekend Warrior package, folks, over the last 2 weekends. In Weekend Warrior package, simply $49. It includes all my college football on Saturday, NFL on Sunday, and if I have a Monday night pick in the NFL, you'll get that as well. Over the last 2 weekends, 11-3-1 on the Weekend Warrior package, including a 4-0 on my 5% best bets, 2 in the NFL and 2 in college football. So you're making a ton of money. And by the way, folks, I've had 2 losing weekends since the second week of September on this package. So a great value when you consider the fact that it's $35 a piece for our 5% best bets. And you're going to get everything else I put out in addition to those 5% best bets for just $49. You don't need to be Aristotle to figure out the math on that. It's a great deal. It's an absolute steal. Folks, college football this year, number 2 right now in units earned, 34-19, 64% plus 53 units. Since the start of the 2023 season in college football, 163-108, 60% up over 133 units. College football and the NFL combined right now, I am on a run of 87-56, 61% up over 88 units. So a lot to look forward to. NBA, by the way, Andy, 16-9 to start the year and 30-14 runs since the end of last year. So a lot of good stuff. And take advantage of some of the specials. We got great specials going on right now at WagerTalk.com, or you can go right to my direct link at WagerTalk, wt.buzz/RB.
All right, Ross, the Boss Benjamin, thank you very much. Great job as always. Another great segment. This line makes no sense. This is a keeper. We gotta keep this one going. So thank you very much, Ross. You've dominated.
All right, happy Thanksgiving, all the viewers out there. Happy Thanksgiving to you, Andy, and your family.
Thank you very much, Ross. All right, so Bill, I love this. Bill's going with ham and turkey and prime rib for his Thanksgiving. The prime rib and the steak is such a hidden gem on Thanksgiving because prime rib and steak weirdly goes with everything that comes with Thanksgiving. I actually tend to have steak or prime rib Thanksgiving myself. So let's see, any kind of pot. Well, yeah, no surprise. Lino is on is on board with some kind of pasta dish. I could have guessed that, Lino. So, David's green bean casserole mac to 22 pounds of turkey. Nice, crushing it. All right, let's announce the winner from last week's Sell Me segment. So Teddy and I went head-to-head. Teddy was forced to make the case for the Steelers. I was forced to make the case for the Bears. The Bears get the win by the hook. So in the comments section, the big winner was Ken. So Ken, congratulations. Ken's been with us for a long time. So Ken, I don't know if you're watching live or you're watching the replay, but Friday, we'll get you taken care of and we'll get you a 3-day pass for the weekend. And we'll do another episode of Sell Me. So we'll announce another winner next week. So really liking these bets that we're doing in the comments section and in the live chat. So congratulations, Ken. You're the big winner of the 3-day pass as part of the Sell Me segment. Let's bring in Drew Martin. Drew's only got like these 2 monster games to break down for us. So, you're wearing the Auburn hat. Oh, sign of things to come. All right. Drew, happy Thanksgiving. How are you, sir?
Andy, I am doing good, man. You know, rivalry weekend, Thanksgiving weekend, whatever we're calling it here. This is a great weekend to be a sports bettor. We got college football, the NFL, college basketball, NBA, if that's your thing. I'll tell you, it's a lot to keep up with as a sports bettor, but it's a great time to find some winners, man. So happy to be on with you. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family and to all the viewers out there. Hopefully they enjoy the weekend.
Yeah, we got a lot going on, but maybe not as much as Lane Kiffin these days.
Oh, how about it? Andy, I almost feel like this is turning into, you remember LeBron James? I'm taking my talents to my end. I feel like this is turning into one of those kind of episodes here with Lane Kiffin.
And it does beg the question, is he making this a big deal or are we making it a big deal? It feels like we all may be making this a little bit bigger of a deal than he is. I mean, he just keeps shooting down the questions at press conferences and the media just will not stop talking about it. So what's your take on this game? Ole Miss, Mississippi State. I know that I've heard, he's going to announce before. He's going to announce after. This is a tough one to break down. How do you break down Ole Miss? I mean, they're a touchdown favorite. I got to imagine whatever he decides to do with an announcement is going to affect this line. But for now, let's talk about the touchdown. Let's talk about this big number, 62.5.
Yeah, the latest I've read is he's going to kind of decide the decision day, the day after this game. But I'll tell you this, Andy. One thing I'm bringing into the handicap is Mississippi State's head coach, Jeff Lebby, was the offensive coordinator under Lane Kiffin. So you got to keep that in mind. There's a lot of familiarity with these two prominent programs in the state of Mississippi. I'll tell you this. I think we get a lot of plays ran. We have this total 62 and a hook is widely available. If you're in Vegas, Circa's dealing a 62. I think it's a little short here. We got 50 degrees, partly sunny, minimal wind. Again, the plays are going to be there. And a lot of people pointing towards Ole Miss's defensive numbers being great, which overall, Blimp's view, they have been. But when you look at the teams they've played, there's not a whole lot of good offenses. Like outside of Georgia, I would actually make the argument maybe Mississippi State can move the ball better than the teams that Ole Miss has really faced, gone against. And when you look at the Mississippi State side, they've gone over in 4 straight games by almost 70 points more than the odds makers have kind of projected the total. All of that putting in here, again, the good weather, a lot of plays. I think we're going to get up and over this 62 and a half. I wouldn't be surprised if we get in, the upper 60s, possibly even 70s here. Both offensive-minded head coaches. And I like the over in Starkville here.
All right. Yeah, crossover, you're right. Capper stash. It's looking crisp, man. It's looking awesome today, Drew. Very, very well done. Very well done. All right, let's talk Alabama, Auburn. You're wearing an Auburn hat. This is going to be diabolical if you make the case for Alabama to cover this one, but we got a 6-point spread over under 46.5. What's your take on this game?
Full disclosure, right out of the gate, Auburn alumni, business finance degree. No, I would not be pitching Alabama here. It would either be a total or Auburn, particularly at home here. This is the first night Iron Bowl in Jordan-Hare Stadium since 2003, meaning the kickoff coming at nighttime. That means a whole lot of partying, a whole lot of tailgating here on the plains. I think it's going to make for a heck of a festive atmosphere here. Yes, Alabama, right there in the college football playoff talk. Ty Simpson, he's done a great job behind center after the loss to Florida State. But I'll tell you this, Andy, Auburn's sitting at 5-6. Yes, they need one more win to get to bowl eligibility. It would almost feel better to spoil Alabama's season, keep them out of the college football playoffs for the Auburn faithful. It's just one of those weird things in sports. You get more kind of joy out of seeing your opponent, your rival lose than you do actually kind of seeing, from my instance, Auburn win the game. But I think it's going to be a raucous atmosphere. It's almost $400 to get into the stadium for a 5-win team, go figure. But really the handicap for me, and the matchup handicap, which is the way I like to attack college football and what's been profitable for me, Auburn, they brought in, the transfer, highly recruited quarterback in Arnold. Well, they've made a change at the quarterback position. In each of the last 2 games, they bring in young, athletic quarterbacks in Austin Daniels and Deuce Knight. And sure enough, they've scored 38 points and 62 points in their last 2 games. Now, they are taking a step up in class going up against Alabama, but still, against Vanderbilt and against Mercer, a 9-1 Mercer, by the way, at the FCS level, 38 and 62 points. I think we've seen something in terms of finding change offensively with Auburn. I think they're going to be able to move the ball. They're going to have the run-pass option really working here. And lastly, I want to leave you with this. This is a 6-loss Auburn team. However, every single loss was competitive if you watch this team all season long. All of their losses were within 1 score outside of the Georgia game. And if you remember, the SEC had an official apology to Auburn due to the referees in that game. It goes back to, this would be a very different point spread if Auburn didn't lose all of those games, competitive losses there. With the change at the offensive position, I'd sprinkle a little bit here on the money line. I think the underdog is barking in a tough place to play Saturday night for Alabama. So let's go ahead and put the 6. There is a couple 6.5s out there. If you check out the WagerTalk live odds screen, go ahead and put the points in your pocket. We're going with Auburn over Alabama in the Iron Bowl Saturday night on the Plains.
All right, you got agreement here in the chat. That's your breakdown by the completely unbiased Drew Martin.
Yeah. Hey, I did full disclosure at the beginning, right? You
That's
knew
all
it
you
was
say.
coming.
Yes. Yeah. Listen. Hey, the hat looks crisp. The stash looks crisp. What do you have up for everyone at Wager Talk on this Wednesday?
Yeah, absolutely. Got a 5% college football. Got one going, a 4%er on Thursday night in the Navy-Memphis game. Something I really like there. On a huge run with these big plays. And actually overall, guys, just went over it listening there to your prior segment. It is 55-31, 64% overall. That's over 70% profit since early September. So long-term here, NFL, college football, it's been a heck of a run and not going to change anything up here for this weekend. So got a lot of plays coming in college football and the NFL. So I believe the best package here, if you're looking for something a little shorter term, is the Thanksgiving special there. You get 7 days, is it, Andy? And also got the buy college basketball, which I'm just starting up right now, getting into it. You do get the rest of college football and the NFL thrown in there for free through the Super Bowl. So you get through the Final Four in college basketball, you get college football and the NFL. If you want to check that out on my page, experts page, Drew Martin, wagertalk.com.
All right, Drew Martin, really glad having you on Wednesdays. Let's keep it going. Good luck to your Auburn team, rooting for you this weekend. Happy holidays. Have a great weekend. Thank you, Drew Martin.
Happy Thanksgiving to you, Andy. Happy Thanksgiving all there out there. Enjoy the weekend and cash those tickets.
All right. Hit the like button, please, guys. Algorithm boost time, please. Really helps us out. So Yanni's obviously not here, so I'm going to do a Steam report because we just have too many games to get through. So, or too many games going on today. So we'll start with college basketball here. Money's coming in on Illinois Chicago against Robert Morris. We've also had money come in on Miami, Ohio against UNC Greensboro. A little bit on Mercer. We do have money, big money coming in on Florida International against Nebraska, Omaha. And as I'm scrolling down, North Dakota State has taken all the monies against Jacksonville State. Jacksonville State opened as a pick. I'm now North Dakota State -3.5. Moving on down, New Mexico State has moved from -10.5 all the way up to -12.5. If you want to bet that, get that down now because there's a 13.5 that's already popped up. So I believe we're getting some pretty good confirmation on that one. Or Rice is taking some money against Oral Roberts. Utah Valley against Samford. I think that's pretty good for college basketball. Moving to the NBA, not a whole lot going on. New York taking a little bit against Charlotte. Toronto fading my Indiana Pacers. That line is all the way up to -10.5. Big money coming in on Miami versus Milwaukee. New Orleans was taking money, and that has completely flipped. Memphis has moved from a dog to a 3.5-point favorite. So Memphis is going to be your big mover there. Obviously, we talked about Durant, Steven Adams being out for Houston, so Golden State continues to take the money. San Antonio as a road dog against Portland, the surprise upstart Portland Trailblazers. And then Phoenix is moved from -2 to -4.5. Sabonis is out for tonight's game. Move to football, nothing really concrete in the Thanksgiving games. Green Bay, Detroit, Kansas City, Dallas, Cincinnati, Baltimore, nothing really of note. The only thing, but that line was early in the week. Baltimore opened at -10.5, but the -7 for Baltimore is holding strong. So that line moved about with the Burrow news. So nothing really of note in there. Navy has taken just a touch of money against Memphis, but doesn't look like any big key numbers have disappeared. So we'll get the Steam report from Yanni on Friday. Let's do all around the world. Let's give out some free plays. And then we're going to do a contest here, see if we can cash big. It's like $1 million contest or something. So we'll see if we can hit. All right, go to the NBA. Timberwolves at the Thunder. Julius Randle under 1.5 3-pointers made. This ended up being a good play through certain stretches of last year. Julius Randle will go into these slumps, and you want to take his under because he starts shooting the ball less, and he is in a shooting slump. Under in 7 out of the last 9 games. And he's only taken about 4 3-point attempts per game, and he's shooting under 30% the last 9 games. What happens is he'll take a couple early, and if that doesn't go well, then he's at least smart enough to now lay off the threes, but it helps good for the under 1.5 threes. We're going to NHL Maple Leafs at the Blue Jackets. This comes off the WagerTalk free picks page from Brian Leonard. Blue Jackets, money line, -120. Fading Toronto, last place in the Eastern Conference. They've played 15 home games and only 7 road games, and they're 1-6 on the road. So, we're looking to fade the Blue Jackets. And then player prop, Chiefs at Dallas. Let's take a look at Mahomes over 37.5 longest pass. He's gone over in 5 straight games, over in the last 2 road games. So if you're looking for an NFL play, Mahomes over his longest pass is something to look at. So, all right, we get a nice comment. Andy's free plays went 0 for 3 yesterday. LOL. Yes, I give out free plays every day. They're not going to win every single day. Thank you, Snot Rocket. It's a bummer that the first 73 Snot Rockets were taken. So, thank you very much for joining us, and happy Thanksgiving. Hope your Thanksgiving tastes better than said Snot Rocket. So, all right, let's do Chris. Let's pull up this free contest and see. Imagine being in the holiday mood and just coming into a show to just try and be negative. Get these negative vibes out of here. All right, here's how it works. You got to pick the spread and the total on each game, and you got to hit all 6. You got to go 6, 4, 6 here. So we'll start with the Packers at the Lions. I'm going to lock in the Lions -3. I like the Lions at home. This Packers team, they're up, they're down. I'm not sure this pass rush is as good as it was to start the season. Jordan Love is kind of regressing a little bit, so I'm going to take the Lions at home to cover the spread, and I'm going to take the over 49. Lions at home, it just feels like an over game where Dan Campbell puts the hammer down late in the game, so I'm going to take the over 49. Okay, now here's where you got to remember you're in a contest with a lot of other people, so you have to try and pick some things that not everybody else would try and pick. So we got the Chiefs at the Cowboys. I got to be honest. I like what the Cowboys are doing. Their defense isn't great. I don't even know if it's good, but it's certainly better than what it was. And I love this hook. Give me the Cowboys at home +3.5 on the hook. Short week. We've seen these dogs look pretty good at times, and I'm going to take the under 52. I think this number has been made because of what the Cowboys look like before the season, before this Quinn Williams trade, and this is a Chiefs team. They're not putting up a ton of points on the road, so I'm going to take the under 52 in the Chiefs and the Cowboys. Bengals and Ravens, Lamar Jackson is clearly not healthy. They just announced he has another injury. It's a toe. So give me the Bengals with Burrow coming back. I know there's no T. Higgins. Element of surprise with Joe Burrow coming back. I'm going to take all those 7 points, and I'm going under. This is a terrifying one, but I think everyone's just going to assume this is going over. This Ravens offense is not putting up a lot of points these days. Lamar has gone a couple games in a row without throwing a touchdown pass, which is really strange. So I'm going to go under. So for the 6-game parlay in the free contest, we're going Lions -3. We're going over in the Packers-Lions. We're going to take the 3.5 with the Cowboys. We're going to take the under 52. Then we're going to take the 7 points with the Bengals and the under 52. 5-1 does not get it done. You got to hit all 6 of them. All 6 of these. So let's do it. We'll play a little contrarian on those unders. There's no way people are taking the under in that Bengals Ravens and the under in the Chiefs Cowboys. So I like being on an island here. So all right, that is going to do it for us. I will be flying tomorrow, but I will be back on Friday. Today, we have a huge slate of NBA and NHL games. 4 plays are up. I put them all into one pack. Let's get some good winnings before Thanksgiving. We're going to be recording the NFL Prop Show a little bit later. That'll be up to get you ready for the Thursday and Friday game. NFL Props Pack will be up. It's so much easier just to get that Thanksgiving special. 7 days, $67. Get you 7 days worth of our plays. It gets all sports. Been doing pretty good in NBA. We dropped our NBA play yesterday, but we got 3 plays in the NBA that are up, 1 NHL. Might as well lock us in. That way you get all of our NFL plays and props through next week. It's going to be a great holiday. It's going to be a great day of Thanksgiving and eating and betting. Good luck on all your bets. We'll see everybody for Football Friday. Do not miss Football Friday. Teddy, Marco, Yanni, we're going to go over the Pick 5 Super Contest picks, always our best show of the week. So join us there on Black Friday, and we're going to get you ready for the weekend. Thanks so much for joining us. Hit the like button. Leave us a comment. Good luck on your bets. Happy Thanksgiving. Take care.